Good evening and welcome to Air2Ground Farms Monday Night Live. I'm Shelly.
I'm Rich.
Hey guys, we had a fantastic week last week. It was absolutely full of some unexpected happenings on the farm, and we went to our very first homesteading expo
As a vendor.
as a vendor. Yeah, that's right.
We got to wander it last year, just sort of looking around and seeing what we thought.
Yeah. So we attended as a vendor the Ozarks Homesteading Expo 2025. There were over 160, I think,
Yep.
vendors there. They had an amazing lineup of speakers and educators, everyone from Joel Salatin at Polyface Farms to Brandon Sheard.
Yep.
He is the meatsmith.
I think.
Homestead Meatsmith does a fantastic job with teaching you how to butcher animals. This year and last year, he did a whole hog and taught you how to, from standing there to in the refrigerator, get your hog taken care of. Who
Greg
else?
Judy.
Greg Judy, because
Greg Judy.
moves his cows. Yes, he does every single day, or someone does for him. Greg Judy and Joel were very influential in our YouTube education. You know, whenever we were first learning how to regeneratively farm, we really sought after the knowledge that they had on YouTube. Our very, very dear friends, Kevin and Sarah from Living Traditions Homestead, spoke on Saturday and did a fantastic job. They really hit on a lot of things that I think people don't often think about whenever they get into homesteading and they have 5 kids at home and they're making homemade bread and homeschooling. But one day you wake up and they're all grown and they're gone, and you're an empty nester, but you still want a homestead. And what does that look like? And hopefully we're not in that position, because we have adults around too now that have come back. But, that can happen to any of us, where we are, just find ourselves, just the 2 of us, but we still want to grow our own food.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Who else was there?
Well, we didn't really get a chance to go look at them. I mean, you went and saw the first part of Kevin and Sarah talking. I went and saw the very end. We missed the middle.
Yeah.
Because we were recording a little
blurb
for the expo.
Yeah.
And then I got a chance to listen to Greg Judy talk about livestock guardian dogs, not the entire time, but some.
Yeah.
And then I could hear Brandon a little bit talking about butchering a hog.
Yeah, just because where our booth was.
Yeah, the second day we didn't get to watch it the first day. So we didn't really get a chance to go spend a lot of time
with the speakers in the tents, but we did get to spend a lot of time with you. We had so many of, especially our Monday Night Live viewers, and the farm.
Well, the whole expo started off amazing because like before anybody else showed up, Carol Hampson said, "Hey y'all!"
Oh my god,
that was so cool.
That was the one of the best blessings that we had the whole entire weekend, when she walked up and introduced herself. Carol, I know you're listening tonight. We just want you to know how special it was whenever you walked up and introduced yourself and talked to us, and then came back again and talked to us some more. And we just look forward to getting to know you even more in the future.
Yes.
That was really special. She flew all the way out from Philly to attend the expo and see people that she has been following and learning from. And although she doesn't have a homestead, she actually lives in the suburbs. She loves it. She loves the concept of farming and growing your own food and learning just all the things that we do and kind of living vicariously through some of us. And we just appreciate you so much. And thank you for stopping by and saying hi.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Mary and Phil from Washburn stopped by. Quite a few of people did, and that was the absolute highlight. Yes, business was good. We sold a lot of Air2Ground Farms products, Air2Ground Meats products. It was a good event for us to be at. to really get our, name out there, branding and PR and all those.
I think we gave away almost all of our business cards. We need to order
Yeah,
more.
we need to order more business cards.
And new rack cards.
No, those two. Yeah. So we're low on, I guess, material now, and we'll have to restock. I can say I feel like we will be back next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
It was. It was tiring though.
It was like a market, except all day, 2 days.
Like on steroids.
Yeah.
It was early mornings and late nights.
Yeah, we were getting up at 4 and we were getting back somewhere around 9.
So if you're wondering how we sold frozen meat at an event where people are like staying all day, we took orders on Friday for Saturday pickup. And then on Saturday, when people were ready to, leave, they would come and get their orders and take them home with them. So on Saturday morning, we went through town to the store, picked up a freezer, loaded the freezer, hauled it with us. It was a lot, but it worked out.
It felt like we were doing a market again.
It did. It felt very much like that.
We had everybody's orders loaded in the freezer, and then we also brought with us some ground beef, ground lamb, chicken breast, and bratwursts, different flavors of brats, just in case anybody wanted to grab some as they were leaving. And we did.
And we did.
I mean, mostly it was the orders that we sold, but then there were some.
Yeah.
Definitely
I mean,
some.
we knew though, people aren't going to a homesteading expo to do their grocery shopping. It's not a farmer's market.
Maybe next year.
Maybe. But it's not a farmer's market. But there are a lot of people who want, hey, what does lamb taste like? I'm thinking about growing some. Hey, I really want to taste some of your beef because I'm thinking about getting some. And so there was quite a lot of that. And we talked to a lot of people about farming. Mm-hmm. People who...
Ooh, we just lost power. That's not good.
Oh, that's not good. Huh.
We'll see.
We'll see. If y'all can still see us, could somebody please say we can still see you? Because
It's looking good.
Okay.
I think the lights, I may have to adjust them.
Okay.
You want me to adjust them?
Yeah.
I think I still look pretty good.
Yeah, you look good.
Okay. We'll just leave it.
We see you. Okay. Thank you, Huck. Yeah, the power just flickered, but we have our computer turned into a backup power source. Thank goodness.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So we talked to a lot of people about farming, how we farm, how we got into farming, why we farm, where we farm, what are we farming. So we did a lot of that kind of talking. Mm-hmm. And it got us to thinking that that's something that we should share is how did we get here and why we have the animals we have, what we started with, and just kind of go through what it's like to build a farm literally from scratch.
Yeah.
Yep.
So any farm update stuff before we get into building a farm?
Oh, farm updates.
So today,
Let's see.
Dad delivered a steer and 3 hogs to the processor. Mm-hmm. I thought the hogs were probably, 300 pounds. The smallest one probably 275 pounds. Turns out the biggest one was 383 pounds and the smallest one was 350 pounds.
Good size. Good
I was
size.
off by about 75 pounds. Mm-hmm. I need to recage my hog weight estimator in my brain, I guess.
Yeah.
Happens every time I'm around those breeders.
Yeah, when the breeders are so big, you get around the feeders, and they've got 150 pounds on them probably.
At least
the breeders do, and so when you're around the feeders, they do look smaller, but they weren't small.
No,
and those were all females. Those weren't boys; they were girls, and they were beautiful.
And we yesterday we picked up a steer from a partner farm of ours.
Yes.
We don't have a steer ready to go, but he actually is our mentor and where we got our herd. So he was gracious enough to sell us a bull and some cows, and that's how our herd got started. And then he continues to mentor us in raising grass-fed beef. And he had an amazing steer that was ready to go to the processor. So we were able to partner with him and pick up a steer. And
he weighed
our
over
beef,
1,400 pounds. He was a big boy.
I was about to say our beef weight estimator was about 250 pounds off.
Yeah.
Because we thought probably 1,200 pounds. He actually weighed 1,450.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He was healthy.
Yeah.
He's going to make some amazing ribeyes. Yeah.
He is.
But I can tell y'all one thing right now. The price of beef is just going to continue to go up. It really is, because live weight, they're continuing to break records all over the country with the price of feeders, cull cows, fats, which is a steer that is ready to eat right now. It's fattened up.
So South Dakota just set the record for all time in the United States this year on their fats. So 1,000-pound plus cows were over $3.58 a pound, I think is what it was. So you're looking at right at $3,600 for a 1,000-pound animal.
Yeah, that's alive.
That's alive.
That's with the head and the rumen and the hide and the feet and everything on it. Yeah. And then whenever you start taking all that off and get to your hanging weight, which is your carcass hanging in on the rail, you've lost a good 45% of the weight. So now you've got meat.
Well, then you lose more
you lose more
cut it.
When they start trimming it and cutting it and making it into ground beef and ribeyes and soup bones and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling y'all, at these prices, there is no other option than for beef to be expensive.
Yeah.
And to go up.
Oh yeah.
It just is. That's just reality.
So we're probably going to do a podcast on it tomorrow on our podcast channel, the Duster Mud podcast channel. But the big beef producers, the only reason beef is as cheap as it is in the store is the big beef producers are losing money on beef. Yeah. So Tyson is one of the largest 4 beef producers in the United States, and they are losing hundreds of millions of dollars annually on their beef operation.
Yeah.
They're making it up because chicken and pork are both doing well right now, but they're losing money on beef. And
how fair is that to the...
Well, some producers, they're losing $300 a head. Every time they process a beef, they lose $300.
That can't last. No matter their business model, that can't last.
Yeah. And
it makes it really hard on the farmers and ranchers who are not Tyson or who are not JBS or not just any of the big 4.
If you're trying to go farm to table, if you're doing what we are doing, the cow-calf producers and those that are raising steers are doing pretty good.
They're doing great.
But if you're trying to go farm to table, man,
it's going to be expensive.
We can't...
We're not going to compete with that.
Well, we can't afford to lose $300 every time we process a beef.
No. But no one should, but that's what they're doing right now.
But that just means that our prices can't even come close to competing. No. And we don't try because we know the product is different.
Yeah.
But still, it's just, the difference, I believe, price will continue to come up in the grocery store, but I think the difference in price will continue to grow also. It's going to get wider between the farm to table operators and the big producers that are able to lose money.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It just will. Want to look at some comments?
Let's do.
Let's see who we've got.
Okay.
We've got Mary. Happy. She gives us a happy, beautiful Monday.
Yes.
And Carol, who we already mentioned. Hello from Philly. We've got Angels Homestead in the house. Hello, everyone. And Ronald says, good evening, y'all. And then Phil from Washburn also says, good evening. Carol gives us a thank you. And that it was
our pleasure.
It was she was wonderful to meet us.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then Jeannie says hello from the wonderful state of Nebraska, where it feels like 65 this evening. It was 50 degrees here this morning.
It was so good.
I put on a fleece.
I didn't. I just had on my T-shirt. I'm going to enjoy this.
I learned a while ago to whatever the weather feels like is how I dress.
Okay. And then everyone telling us they could see us. Thank you.
Still here. And then Patty says hi.
Hi, Patty.
Hello. Farmhand Huck mentions all of the pigs are small compared to Tex, which is so very true.
Very true.
All you have to do is get close to him. He looks big when you're like looking at him in the pen.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you like get right up next to him, like when I moved him from the sow pen to his pen, or if I
walked up to feed him
if I want to
today
just
and
give him
scratched him,
a
and I'm
scratch
like,
or something, it's like, God
wowzers,
dang, he is
he's
big.
Big old boy.
Homestead Jude says, hi, folks.
Good evening.
And Anna says, a little oopsie means that she's late, but here, hello. Mary, because she stopped by the booth before they left.
Yes, she did.
On Saturday, is saying, we're having your chicken breast sauteed on mushrooms tonight.
Delicious. You'll have to let us know how you enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. And then Jeannie mentions, we just had some beautiful steaks on the grill tonight. It was delicious. I will never stop eating beef, and I don't care how much it costs. In my state, where there are more cows than people. Yeah, we feel the same way.
We feel the same way.
And yeah, the demand for beef has not gone down.
Right.
In the United States. So there are a lot of people that feel the exact same way you do. A lot of people
are changing their
beef.
cuts.
They are.
In order, they might not be eating ribeye, 3 nights a week or on the regular, or fillets, but they are still eating beef. They're going for, quality ground beef, or they're still eating, your rump roasts and other roasts and lesser cuts, so that they still get the beef, but not paying the price on the prime cuts.
The beef industry calls it trading down. Mm-hmm. So they're getting away. The Americans in general are getting away from the prime cuts more towards the cheaper cuts, like you were talking about. Half of the beef that's consumed right now, I believe it's 49%, but we'll say half of the beef consumed right now is ground beef.
Wow. Well, guess what we had for dinner? Ground beef. Yes, we did.
And Angel's Homestead said, I made a pot of beans with some of your pork jowl cubes.
Oh, aren't they good? Oh my goodness. That's like bacon candy.
Right?
Oh, they're so good.
Jowl bacon is like the hidden secret that you don't see it in the store. So when we started growing pigs, I'd never heard of it.
But a lot of people call it pork cheek.
Yeah, but
but it's jowl.
Either one, cheek or jowl. Like before, I might have been like, I don't know.
Oh, when they turn that into bacon,
man, that's good stuff.
It's good. Yes, we enjoy it. Okay, farming though. Okay, let's get to farming, because we farm beef. But before we talk about beef, we were not raised on a farm. Neither one of us, and we had that question asked quite a few times. Did you guys grow up farming? Did you know how to do all of this when you started? And the answer is no. Yes, we both grew up in an agricultural community. There were more cows than people, kind of like Jeannie in Nebraska. Y'all, our county only has one city, legit.
Yeah, we grew up in Okeechobee, Florida, which is about halfway between Orlando and Miami, in the swampy area just north of Lake Okeechobee.
And the only city in Okeechobee County is Okeechobee City, which has about, last I knew, it's got about less than 6,000 people in the city limits during the off season, and about 30 to 40,000 people in the whole county. The whole county. Now, during the season, that more than doubles. A lot of people come from the north and they migrate, snowbirds do, to that area, and they come spend the winters. And it's wonderful because it brings, lots more people and revenue into the area. So tourism and that season is a big deal for that county.
But still more cows than people.
It's still more cows than people. I don't care how many Canadians come down.
Very rural.
It's very rural. So, but you grew up essentially homesteading.
We didn't call it that. I didn't know. It dawned on me, we had been doing this for a couple of years, when I'm like, well, I think actually what we had going on, you would call a homestead.
Yeah.
We didn't call it that. We just called it nothing. I mean, like, it was just life,
home.
Right? I mean, like, it was just home. But we always had a very big garden. acres worth of garden. We always had steers from the nearby dairy that we were feeding out. We always had wild hogs in a pen that we were giving them some corn to get a little bit of the gaminess out of them. I can remember my dad's mom, my grandma, she had rabbits and she had chickens and there were ducks around. And so like people are like, oh, you grew up on a farm then? And I'm like, no, I don't know. We didn't think it was a farm, but looking at it now with the terminology that I know now, I would say that we had a homestead.
Yeah. And like my grandparents, they always had a garden and we went hunting and we went fishing and we always had, what seemed like always had a half a beef in the freezer. So yes, rural and doing rural life, but not farming for production.
Nope.
Not trying to take a baby thing and turn it into food, like on the regular, and then try to market it. Like, no, we have never done this before. And so when we set out on this journey, we're sitting in your nation's capital and in Washington, D.C. He's working in the Pentagon. He had been for about 5 years. It was coming on time to retire. And we just knew we wanted better food. And we were ordering food from Joel Salatin and from another farm just up the way, J&L Green Farm. Some of you may have heard of them. So we're ordering wholes and halves from those guys. And it's not cheap.
Nope.
And we just kept thinking, man, we want good food. And we would have a garden even in the city, or in the suburbs. And we thought, we could do this ourselves,
We had chickens at that point.
Oh, we did have chickens. Even in Maryland, we did.
We had 6 layers.
We had 6 layers. Got called one time because somebody thought we had roosters and had more than 6. And so somebody from the city came to see what kind of chickens we had in our little suburb house. And we were totally legal because we knew what the rules were. But anyway, we were buying good food and we knew we could maybe raise it ourselves. And we were ready to get out of the hustle and bustle of the city life and go grow our own food. And so we kind of set out looking.
Yeah. Yep. And we settled on this piece of property. And within a couple of weeks of closing on the property, I dropped my papers.
Means he kindly asked the Air Force if he could please retire. That's what drop your papers means. And he did. He came home and said, I think I'm done. And I'm like, oh, well, it's a little earlier than I was planning, but okay. If we can make that work, let's do it. And we did. And so we just started reading about how to farm, really. We got a bunch of Joel's books. We got some livestock guardian books. We had watched countless hours of Greg Judy rotating his cows. We had watched countless hours of Kevin and Sarah
doing everything,
growing food like we probably wanted to grow food. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And so but we didn't know anything. We just started downloading information. And us being the type of people that we are, we were pretty sure we can just do anything. And so we set out doing it. So we drug our camper out here and he dropped his papers in April. We sold our house, drug our RV out to Missouri would have been Memorial Weekend of 2021. Middle of June, he leaves work and never goes back. It's the last day in June, Father's Day. We moved out here and there wasn't an animal on this property other than the wild ones and the 2 pets we brought. And that was it. And us and an RV and one little lean-to shed that we could park a lawnmower underneath. And outside of that, there wasn't anything to, what do we quote, farm with. We just had yard tools really and normal suburb tools. And we set out to building little by little. And I think next week we'll maybe include some pictures that I have from when we were building and doing.
Well, before we get too far into this,
Okay.
Carol has a question for us.
Yes.
What is your story why did we choose Missouri?
Well, we knew we wanted to be in the southeast portion of the United States, meaning literally make a cross and pick the southeast. So we just kind of arbitrarily picked Coffeyville, Kansas as the furthest north and the furthest west that we wanted to go. We have lived out west. We lived in Idaho for 3 years. We've lived up north. We've lived, in DC and all that. It's kind of pretty far north. Idaho's pretty darn north.
That is me.
We've lived in Florida, Alabama, North Carolina, spent time in Texas. We've lived in a lot of places.
Oklahoma, Korea, England.
Yeah.
We've
and Florida. Yeah. Like we lived in Florida outside of Okeechobee. We lived in Pensacola and in Fort Walton Beach. Yep. And so we love Florida, by the way. But the way we wanted to farm, we weren't going to be able to purchase enough land.
Yeah, we needed more land than what Florida was willing to give us for the amount of money we had.
Yeah. Florida land is very expensive. So we set out looking, and we really liked Tennessee. We really did like Alabama. We'd lived there before. There was a lot of places we liked. We were looking in Oklahoma. His parents are there. And one day his mom said, hey, don't forget to look in Missouri. We drive through there often on Highway 60. And when we go through Willow Springs, it's just gorgeous through there. So don't forget to look in Missouri. And both of us were like, Missouri.
I had been to St. Louis some because of my job. I'd been to the Boeing plant a few times.
Yeah.
And that was what I knew of Missouri was St. Louis.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, sure. We'll look at Missouri too. And so we did. And one day he said, let's take a road trip. And we did. I set it up with some real estate agent, and he took us around. We looked at about 14, 15 different properties in several states. When we got to Missouri, we looked at a bunch. But when we set foot on the one that we live on, both of us got out of the vehicle. It was beautiful. We got out of the vehicle, stepped foot on it. And I thought, what just kind of came over me was just like, well, crap. It looks like I'm moving to Missouri. I could just feel it. Like, this is the spot.
And I got out of the vehicle and stepped onto the ground, and I said, well, crap. It looks like we're moving to Missouri. So we both literally...
We weren't even talking about it.
No, we didn't talk when we were looking at the properties. Yeah. We talked that night. And both of us literally had the exact same... reaction to stepping on the ground here. And it was, both of us said, well, it looks like we're moving to Missouri. And the property we now know, we didn't know at the time, but we now know that this property was the show property for the extension office to bring their grazing school to learn how to do rotational grazing.
Yep.
It had a well and waterers with pressure water going all over the entire property. It was about half and half woods and pasture. It had fences and cross fences.
And that was it.
That was it. But we saw it, and we saw the potential, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we need to do the kind of farming that we're wanting to do. We knew we wanted regenerative, meaning
rotationally
very focused on the soil, and we needed room so that we could rotationally graze things.
We knew we wanted to do that, and one of the most important things, and you've probably heard this, if you don't have water, you don't have anything. And the fact that ag well was on the property, and there's over a mile of underwater lines. Underground. Yeah, that too. Yeah. Underground lines buried and done correctly with 7 or 8
Yep, 8.
frost-free waters on this property. We were like, okay, we can do something with this. It's just, and it was beautiful too. I mean, just gorgeous.
And like anybody that you ask, what should I look for in, I want to farm, I want to do regenerative farming, whatever, what should I look for? Their number one answer should be water. Mm-hmm. Like you have to have water. We've got, I mean, this year we will have processed thousands literally of animals. And, well, I have a rain catchment system, doesn't work.
Oh, no.
When, a cow drinks 35 gallons a day when she's lactating, and the chickens are drinking 100 gallons a day. And you have to have water.
Yeah, but have to. And so, what you might have noticed is we didn't mention a house. It didn't have a house.
No.
So we lived in our fifth wheel for a little over a year while we built. And we sold 2 other properties. So that's how we were able to do what we did. And one was on the water in Fort Walton Beach with a dock and a boat lift. And yes, we miss it in ways, but not enough. So anyway, we had to build the house, and we were living in an RV.
So okay, go ahead.
But we knew we couldn't wait until the house was built to start farming.
Oh, right.
Right?
Because we had read in Joel Salatin's book, I think it's So You Can Farm.
Yeah.
And in his book, he says, don't start if you're more than 35 years old. If you're older than 35 years old, you're too old to do this. You don't have the stamina to see the whole thing through. If you insist on starting over age 35, then you have to find someone under 35 to partner with.
Right.
Like you won't be able to do it. And those of you who know Shelley and I know that that's really all that it took for us to say, oh yeah? Watch.
Yeah. Right or wrong, we were going to do it.
So we knew, though, we were 48 and 49.
No. Also 49.
48.
Yeah. We were
both 48.
You turned 48 here.
That's right.
So I was already 48
that's right.
and you
we were
turned
both
48.
48.
Well, making
but
me older.
To Joel, we're already 13 years late.
Right.
We're 13 years behind. And to us, that meant we have to go really fast.
Yes. We don't have time to waste. So we started farming, and we started farming from our RV.
So let's we got a couple of questions.
Yes.
Let's look at some questions.
Okay.
So, Angel's Homestead, about the beans with the pork jowl, she only let her husband have half a bowl. Susie Q joined us. She says, hey. Anna says, I think the carnivore diet fad fades away, but beef consumption will not go down.
You think until it fades away. I hope it doesn't fade away.
Oh, until the diet. Yeah, I hope it doesn't fade away. We did carnivore for a year and a half, and I really like it. Mm-hmm. So Susie says some of us, not growing up, but our marriage life was like what I was describing.
Yeah.
The way I grew up. Mm-hmm. My parents always had a garden and canned food for many years. Yep. Mm-hmm. And Trisha joined us, although late. Thanks for joining, Trisha. Carol says, what is your story when you're choosing? That's the one I just went through.
Yeah.
Yep. So Homestead Jude said, I was introduced to homesteading via Joel and Kevin and Sarah too. Love them all. Yeah. Us too.
Fantastic.
Patty says, amazing how you both recognize the feeling on the land. Yeah. Yes. Homestead Jude has a similar story of finding land, similar experience with our 35 acres in West Virginia. Love at first sight, felt like destiny. 16 years later, and we're still here and we'll never leave. Yes.
Nice.
That's great. That's an awesome testimony and makes us feel good. Mm-hmm. So Mary says, how did you connect with Kevin and Sarah? Through the Ava Farmers Market, ? And then Susie says, when did you meet Kevin and Sarah? What did they inspire you to do both in YouTube and in farming?
Ooh, that's a great question.
And then finally, Ronald says, I joined the Navy in 76 and finally made it home to Willow Springs in 1998, 22 and a half years. couldn't force me to leave again. Yeah. We go over to Willow Springs occasionally. We go to Fixtures for Less. And if you've been in our store, you can see like the little shopping carts and the little baskets and stuff. Fixtures for Less is a really, it's great for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for that kind of stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
You take your life into your own hands when you go in that place, but they've got some interesting things.
We picked up some freezers there that we use for processing chickens. So like, yeah. Anyway, we do make it over there a couple times. But how did we connect with Kevin and Sarah? And what did they teach us to do, both in YouTube and in farming?
Okay. Like the whole at the farmer's market. Yes, that's where we connected with them. We were selling it would have been the second year, because the first year we just went the fall and they were already done. They weren't selling anymore, because they were selling their spring starts, their plant starts. We kind of met them that year, because I think the chili cook-off was that year and they were judging. So we met them
the year before. Yeah.
The year before. But we really came to know them really through the farmer's market. Yes. When we were selling, we were basically that second year, we were right across the way from them.
Yeah. So, the market set up in the parking lot and we were facing each other. And honestly, Kevin was very, very kind, as was Sarah. And for us, we felt like it was very important, and we thought that they get bothered all the time, from just looking at it from the outside. Yeah. And we said, we don't want to do that. We don't want to bother them. We were always kind, and we smiled and we said hi. Yeah. And both Kevin and Sarah would go out of their way to come over and spend time and chat with us throughout the market day. Yeah. And, as their crowd would die down, they would always come over and say hi to us. Yeah.
And we would visit and talk.
And we would visit. And then, that happened until they stopped coming to the market. Mm-hmm. And then I think it was towards the fall, they came back to judge the chili contest again.
That's right. In October it was. Yeah.
They invited us to join them at church.
Yep.
And we did. Yep. And all right.
Can you hear us now?
Now we got it. Live broadcast. Working. That's right.
Yeah, with power surges, I guess.
Here we are.
Okay, so they invited us to church. We said yes. We went to church, and we have been friends ever since. That's the short of that part of the story. YouTube, they have been great mentors. We were already doing YouTube. We were doing the best that we could, but then their support of our farm and what we're doing, and being a part of our YouTube channel and collaborating with us, did our channel wonders, of course. and they could not have been more supportive.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was the YouTube thing.
And then farming wise, look, we watch them to do so many things on the farm.
Yeah.
Just like you guys. The garden, especially, because we have grown gardens, but it was mostly in pots. And, we did a video with them as they helped us set up our weed cloth and the watering system and what do we plant here and when. And canning, I know Sarah has been influential in teaching about canning. We went over to their house and Kevin had broke his thumb, and we went over and I helped or I processed their rabbits for them as they were showing me. I have processed rabbits before, but not like this, wild rabbits.
Yeah.
But actually a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we were deciding whether or not we wanted Cornish cross chickens, we sat down and they were like, "Hey, we did a series years ago. You might want to watch it, And so we know we don't know everything, and we just try to garner all the information that we can. And we sat one Sunday or Saturday, it was rainy, and we just watched all the entire series. And right there, they convinced us, okay, we're going to try Cornish cross chickens for meat birds. And they were right. They're delicious, and it's been great. So back to the RV stuff. So we're living in an RV.
Hang on just a second. We got a couple more comments that matter.
I was going to say, you keep interrupting me.
I do. But Debbie said that she loved meeting us at the expo and that the lamb chops were delicious.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so glad.
That's
really important.
And
I'm
then
so glad.
Patty says, Kevin and Sarah's videos led me to check out the Ozarks too, and driving through a couple of times. So we'll finish the Kevin and Sarah story there. We didn't know where they lived.
Oh yeah, we had no idea where they lived.
We had closed on our land, and we were still in DC, closed on the land. I think we had just dropped the paperwork, so it was in the April timeframe, and Kevin and Sarah mentioned something about being at the farmers market in Ava.
And we were sitting there in the living room.
We both were like,
"What?
Did you know that they lived in Ava?
Live in Ava? That's crazy, And I was just like, oh my gosh, we're totally gonna be friends.
Yeah.
And I was just it was a real thing. Like we're actually gonna be their friends. And it was just something I felt in my heart. And it was so true. And I even told them that story, and they were like, wow, that's it just when something really comes to fruition and you allow guys, we're big time faith, we're believers, and our faith is strong. And whenever we really feel like, God is like leading us a place, we listen. And it was just that inner kind of voice in me. And I just knew these people were going to be in our life. That was just the bottom line.
So now you can get to, we were living in our camper. Sorry.
I know. So we were living in our camper. We go on vacation. We come back from vacation and we go pick up our very first animals. August the 2nd, I believe it was, we went and picked up 3 livestock guardian dogs, puppies. That would be Tank, Nala, and Lucy. They were the OGs. They were the first animals to be a part of Air2Ground Farms.
Yep. Greg Judy called them livestock during his his talk.
They're livestock?
Well, I would consider them as part of your livestock.
Well, yep. we take them to the vet in the livestock trailer.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah. And so we got 3 puppies because, once again, we know it's going to take time for these guys to grow, be monsters, all the things that they do before they're ready.
And we knew that our property was wild. Mm-hmm. Like, this was the backside of an old cattle farm, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody had been here.
Yeah. And so we got those guys, and then a week later we ordered, or like that week when we're done with vacation, we sat down and we ordered some chickens, ducks, and guineas, little babies to come in the mail. So
We had chickens before, I mentioned.
yeah, we know
that.
how to do chickens.
But we had never had ducks or guineas.
No.
We knew that there were a lot of ticks here, and everybody says if you have ticks, get guineas. Growing up, my aunt had guineas, so I had seen them before. Like I knew what the animal was, but we definitely wanted something to help with the tick population. So the answer is always, guineas that everybody gives.
And so we got the guineas, and you had
the
what?
animals that showed up
Yep.
were the week after the guardian dogs showed up. It was guineas and ducks.
Yep. Yeah. Guineas and ducks.
So the
30 guineas and
because that was the minimum order.
30. That's a lot of guineas.
Yes, it is.
But don't worry.
we took care of that right away.
we got some ducks too, because we had eaten duck eggs that we got at the organic market back in Maryland, and they were delicious, and we were eating carnivore, and like we got to have ducks, and because duck eggs are amazing, and so we got ducks, and and chickens.
The learning point there, as I mentioned, we had chickens that we raised them from chicks, and we thought, well, these are birds too. So with our guineas, they were about 2 or 3 days old, and we put grit in with them, which you can do with the chicken. Guineas, though, are not far removed from their dinosaur roots, and they filled their crops with grit, and 15 of them died.
Yeah, we killed them at like 3 days old, like half of them.
And they're quite expensive birds.
Yeah, they are. Well, I think we wound up didn't we have 20 that we...
Was it 10 died?
Yeah.
10 died. We had 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, man.
Like
so
right off
the bat. Boom.
How we doing? We're successful farmers now.
Yeah. So, well, where do we keep them? Because we didn't have a barn to speak of. And they're in these little baby plastic totes, and I've set it up like, I live in the suburbs, but this is all we had. So we got some plastic totes, and we kept them in that. And we're like, we have to have shelter for these things. So we did have a livestock trailer, and we we started setting up our livestock trailer like a little mini barn.
Yep.
And we started we had little areas. This was the guinea area, and this was the duck area. And then we got chickens.
And then we had a chicken area, and the guardian dogs were there.
They would sleep like underneath the trailer.
We called it the red shed.
It was the red shed. Yeah. And so now we're farming out of the shed. Not a shed, a trailer. We're living in a trailer, and we're farming out of a trailer.
Yeah.
And we had to build a brooder for our chickens, because I think we got like 50 hens or something, with a menagerie of some sort of roosters and stuff, just to try like what we've had, Buff Orpingtons and some Dominicers, and we'd had some other chickens before, but we kind of got a little bit of a menagerie with a bunch of Rhode Island Reds, right? Because we wanted some that would lay a little bit more prolifically. So we started growing our little poultry outfit, and then as they got bigger, we moved them out onto pasture, and went and bought a used little chicken tractor, and had ducks in them. And oh my God, we were farming though, y'all.
We bought some net, some poultry net,
so
that
a bunch
we
of
could
net.
learn how to get everybody in poultry net and move them around. And it was definitely a.
But here's the cool thing: we said that we went fast. But because animals take a minute to grow, it gave us time to learn the process of keeping this animal group alive before the next animal group showed up.
But
it was pretty
weeks,
fast. It was weeks,
not years.
So we dealt with all the poultries, and then the next thing we got was pigs. We went and picked.
We're not talking about them tonight.
But we're not talking about them tonight. I was just saying, by October we had everything. Shh. That's just a little hint into the madness to come.
That's
because
next
it
week.
was. Well, it was madness. Okay, livestock guardian dogs. How did you choose a good livestock guardian
Okay,
dog?
there we go.
That was a good question.
Yep. So I read quite a few different books on livestock guardian dogs and the different breeds and how to train them and how to treat them. And I found livestock guardian dog trainers, treaters, however you want to say it, fell into two separate camps. One of them was these should be basically wild animals that you never do anything but throw some food at. And the other one was you want to be part of their pack. You want them to see you as a pack leader, but you want them to feel like you are all a pack working together. And that pack mentality really set better with us. We did not want a dog that we couldn't get to, or that we couldn't trust, or that we couldn't give medication if it needed it, or it needs its nails trimmed. I mean, like there are things that happen with animals, and
You got to get your hands on them.
you don't,
Yeah.
to me, you don't want a wild dog. So
So you read the books, and we kind of narrowed it down. Yes, the Pyrenees do a great job at loving on sheep, but the Anatolians do a really good job at perimeter guarding. And so the Anatolian Pyrenees cross really made sense to us because you can get both traits and aspects of both of those breeds, together in one dog.
And when Greg was talking at the expo, he said that his favorite breed right now is a quarter Anatolian, quarter Pyrenees, half Maremma. That's his specialty breed. But for us, the half Anatolian, half Pyrenees was really what we were looking for. And then we honestly went looking on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and such until we could find some breeders. And then we went and saw the dogs, visited them, and brought them home. The thing immediately was, oh my God, these things are huge.
Yeah.
Like
They're big.
They're big dogs.
Big
and
puppies.
Tank, he was 8 weeks old, and he was already big.
Yeah.
And now he's probably 175, maybe 180 pounds. His nugget is
That's big.
really wide. His
Yeah.
jaws are like this.
It's big.
So we did some research, and then ended up finding some breeders.
And we do kind of treat them more like livestock than we do dogs. And while they're part of the pack, and when we come to they come and see us, but they're outside dogs. Like y'all, they've never had a bath. The rain gives them a bath. I wouldn't want to change their smell. That's part of their nest kind of thing. They get flea and tick medicine, of course, and if needed, medical attention. But outside of that, they are just like the sheep and the cows and all that. They're out there with them, and that's where they live and stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susie Q mentions that guineas are noisy.
Heck yeah.
And that's the truth. That's
Yes,
why
they
there
are.
are no longer guineas on the farm.
Well, we don't have any guineas anymore at all.
No,
because
guineas are gone.
The animals they started roaming too far, and then the animals, the wilds, kind of started having a snack or two. So we would just kind of lose a few. And then the last ones, they were just making too much noise. And
we got down to 2. There were 3 for a long time.
Yeah.
And we got down to 2, and they were constantly looking for that third one.
And they were just hollering all the
And
time.
so,
And so they was just like, no.
Shelley played the Queen of Hearts.
Y'all can't live here anymore.
She played the Queen of Hearts, and she came home, and the guineas were gone.
Yeah. Make them go away.
Farm to Table guys say, hey,
guys.
it was great to meet you.
It was great
Likewise,
to meet you guys.
Good to meet you also.
Yeah, I look forward to hooking up again.
Tricia says that she's raised a lot of critters in her horse trailer.
Oh, really? That's great.
Carrie says, my gazebo is full of baby chicks right now.
Wow.
Too little to join the flock, and I can't keep them in the house. They stink. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Anna says, did your 6-layer hens move to Missouri with you?
No, I actually rehomed them to people looking for some because I wasn't sure what our situation was going to be whenever we got out here as far as animals. And I was like, we're just going to start over. They were about 1.5 years old, so they kind of had met their prime and laying and stuff. And so I rehomed them to people wanting backyard chickens. And
we knew we were going on vacation.
Yeah. I was like, no, we're just going to start over with some news.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
She says, so proud of you both. What a unique story. Great storytellers, amazing meat producers, successful journey. Said like a mother.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well done, Mom.
Kathy says, City Hick here, or should I say 32 years ago. First calves lived 2 days in the mudroom. Chicks all started in the mudroom. Those were the days. We often talk about the days that we were in the camper and
bottle babies, sheep.
Sheep in the camper.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be a different story.
Another story.
Xana says, so good to hear that you started out on your farm living in your RV.
Yes.
That's what I plan to do. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, for sure.
15 months, I think it was. Shelly and Michaela were on vacation, and I moved us out of the RV.
Yes. Hey, so I'm down, I think at the beach. Anyway, I was in Florida.
Yeah, you were at the beach.
And he sent me a picture of our coffee pot. Now, and we have the kind with the beans on top, It was our coffee pot, And he sends me a picture, and it's sitting on the counter of our, quote, like coffee counter station at our new house that we were finishing. And he sends this picture, and it's just the coffee pot on the counter. And I'm like, oh, I think he moved. Michaela, Dad moved the coffee pot. I think he moved into the house. You did too, didn't you?
Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah, we weren't quite done, but it was hot on the hill.
I loaded the mattress out of the bedroom and the coffee pot, and I moved into the house.
It was cool in the house. Air conditioner was going. It was hot in the camper.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Jeannie says, you guys are so brave. I can't imagine how you did it all. Must be your faith of just having confidence. When there is a will, there's a way.
Oh, yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do. That is true.
Yeah. A lot of grit.
Carol asks, why do some homesteaders choose geese instead of a livestock guardian dog? We actually have both.
We have both. We have some geese out with our chickens. They really do a good job at warning of aerial predators. They're actually quite good.
And the guardian dogs do as well. They spend a lot of time looking for birds. The guardian dogs do. And let a buzzard land on a dead tree nearby, and the dogs just go crazy until the buzzard leaves.
But it's really hard, and people are successful, but it is not easy to train livestock guardian dogs to be with and protect chickens, because chickens are really fun. Like, they do a lot of squawking and running and flapping, and it can be irresistible for a dog to not want to chase the chicken. So what we did was we have the guard dogs with the big animals and a couple just running around the farm. But the chickens are in a net, and they have some geese just for that extra. And roosters do a really good job too. Mm-hmm. And we've got roosters with the hens. So that said, we have not, knock on wood right here, it's been a long time since we've had any kind of critter come up and try to get our critters.
We lost the most poultry to possums.
Yep.
We lost the most poultry at one time to a raccoon.
Yeah.
So,
but they were nowhere near a dog.
Nowhere near the dog. Yeah. Farmhand Huck said, Dad raised quail, and we had a guard peacock.
Oh yeah, I've heard
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Patty says, baby goats in the playpen, chicks in the bathtub, baby guineas perched on the bathroom towel rack. Who knew they could fly up so young? Yeah, for sure. So the guineas, the moral of the story there with the guineas was, we have 160 acres, and the grass was very high, and the brush was everywhere, and there was nothing that 20 guineas could do with the amount of ticks that we had on this property. Mm-hmm. And in the long run, the best way to control ticks is with a mower. The absolute best way. Yeah. People will tell you possums. That's not true. The studies, if you actually do the research, possums make more ticks than what they eat. It's more of a wives' tale type of thing. Everybody says guineas. That's fine if you had guineas in your backyard and you didn't want ticks in your backyard. I think that would be a viable option. to buy
Or
anything.
some small acreage, if you had a couple of acres.
And you could keep the
And you
guineas
could keep-
on that couple of acres.
And keep them from wandering away, because a lot of times the guineas go eat your neighbor's ticks.
That's right.
It's not helpful.
They fly out, they fly off. Like the guineas were not effective for us in our situation with the amount of land that we had and how high everything was, and really nothing having ever been here before. Guineas weren't making a dent in the ticks. All they were was very, very loud.
Yeah, that's true. And now we don't have any ducks anymore either, though.
That's true.
Ducks are really fun. They are. They have a lot of personality. They do lay good eggs. They are really, really messy, though.
They're very, very messy.
Very.
They
have to have
water. And we watched Kevin and Sarah, and we made the little waterers with the holes in the 5-gallon buckets, and it just didn't matter.
They do make a mess.
We had ducks for a long time until like a year ago. So we had ducks for like 3 years.
Yep.
And we decided to rehome the ducks.
We did. We rehomed them.
It just got to be too much.
We took them to somebody who had a pond, and so they could go live in a pond.
They were slowing down what they were laying, and it was just too much. So of the initial animals on the farm, Tank, Nala, and Lucy are still here. On the farm.
Tank and Nala have had a litter of puppies.
Yeah.
And those guys are now 2
years,
2.5. They're over 2. That's
of those we still have on the farm Tozer and Kita, and others of their puppies are
gone to do
are
other
guarding
things.
sheep, and one is an emotional support dog in an apartment. I mean, they're good dogs.
Yes.
So of our initial livestock.
Yep. For round one.
I mean, the first
I
2
think
weeks.
actually we still have some of the original chickens. The Bielefelders.
I think they were actually batch 2, but we were still living on the
What
hill.
about the Buff Orpingtons?
They were batch 2 also.
He remembers everything. I don't remember nothing.
Batch 1 was actually all Rhode Island Reds.
Oh, was it?
And then batch 2 is when we got
but it was right. Wasn't it? We were still living in the RV though.
Oh, yeah. It was just a couple months later.
Well, then that's just semantics. For crying out loud.
All right. Your mom says you did have a duck in the bathtub at Quail Acres.
I remember that.
You were born to farm.
I was born to farm, for sure.
Susie Q says we had to deal with red-tailed hawks, so a net of string strung across the area where the chickens were in is what protected them. Oh, yeah. That would definitely work.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. We had a hawk trying to get in our chicken tractors last year. That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was flying from chicken tractor to chicken tractor,
sitting on top of
grabbing on the chicken wire lid, trying to figure out how it could get through that lid at the chickens. Mm-hmm. So Anna says, chickens don't eat ticks? Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
They absolutely do. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not sure why people say guineas. I don't know that there's any evidence. I don't know that there's been a scientific study that says guineas eat more ticks than anything else in the world. So you should have guineas.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but we tried it. And
Homestead Jude, guineas were short-lived on our farm too. Too noisy and annoying.
So noisy.
Most of them got picked off by predators, but I too went Queen of Hearts on the last 2. No regrets. Yes.
Love it.
Yep.
Great. That's awesome.
Jeannie says, I raised some ducks, and yes, they're messy. Had to clean their pool daily. We have a pond now. Yeah, and everybody says with ducks, you never say clean water. You say fresh water.
Right.
Because the water is dirty immediately. As soon as you put it in, the water is dirty. And
they even they need water in the winter too, And you're out there busting ice for ducks.
And their feet, their little Their little padded feet, right? So in the water, they're just mashing down everything.
Yeah.
And so where the ducks are, it turns into like a parking lot.
Yes, it does.
Of dirt. There's no grass left.
You
there's
can't
no
move them
left.
often enough.
No,
you cannot move them often enough. And so we just had to say,
for us,
we're not going to eat duck eggs. Just no.
Yes.
Oh, and they wouldn't lay in the right spot. And the duck eggs would be all muddy.
Always. Carol asks, maybe next week, can you talk about having cats on the property to control rodents?
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
I believe that cats technically were the next thing we got.
Yeah, we got them. Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
There's a story there.
Oh, yeah.
So
we got so many stories.
We can continue.
We got 4 years worth of fun stories.
The building the farm stories next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll have to start it with how we got cats.
How we got cats. Okay, yeah, because it falls right in line with kind of where we are in it. You know, with the animals arriving on the farm.
Great leading question, Carol.
Yeah, thank you. Now, if we can remember, whenever it comes time next week.
I'm sure nothing will happen between then.
What are we talking about? Okay, all right. We've kept these people long enough.
I know.
It's been over an hour.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, guys. Join us next week. You know, I think we've really covered a lot of bases tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Until next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.